It's the Duffin Up Podcast.
All right, Duff Daddies and Duff Mamas, we have a very, very special guest for you this week. Hailing from the Pacific Northwest, that is right. Duff Daddies and Duff Mamas live all over the world, baby, especially in America. We have on Jeff from Chasing Aces Golf. Jeff, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely, man. So first question I got to ask.
Yeah.
And I already know the answer to it, but I'm asking it anyways. How did you get the absolute goodest boy as your logo for Chasing Aces? Because it is adorable. I want that as a fellow golden retriever man myself.
Yep.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So that is the logo is after my dog Franklin, and he passed away in an accident. It was really, really tough, and that was 5 years ago, and took some time and some therapy and processing and all of that. And I thought I need to figure out how to not get past it, because you never really get past it, but how to move on in a positive way. And I thought, let's start a golf brand. And the logo came first, the name came second. And so I knew, because, I started playing golf and I would see other logos, and I would see the Greg Norman Shark or the Roback Dog or the, any other of these other animal logos. And I thought, gosh, I want to throw my dog on there. So I had a logo made off of photo of Franklin. So that is, to me, I know the photo and I know what it looks like, but to others, it's just a logo. So, yeah, that's how it started. I wanted to keep his spirit with me and kind of turn a tough negative time into a more positive. And that's how the brand started. That's the attitude of the brand. I mean, a golden retriever is just a big, goofy, have fun dog. And that's how I approach the game of golf. I'm not that good, but I have a great time and I want to include as many people as possible. And that's it. It's helped me so much and brings me such great joy to see the logo out and about. Just seeing it on social media, people posting about it, it's just awesome. So yeah, I'll go on and on and on about Franklin, but I got to stop sometime. So
Jeff, people at work call me the golden retriever, and
yes,
and I guess I'll take it as a compliment. Because,
it is.
There's nothing better than a dog that you come home to and he's just happy and stuff like that. And furthermore, I love the Chasing Aces thing, because every time I come to a par 3, I say we got an opportunity for a hole-in-one right here.
Exactly.
And so something I always ask, whether I'm playing with someone random and new on the golf course or someone who comes on this podcast, I got to ask you first and foremost, do you have any hole-in-ones?
I do not.
You do?
I do not. I'm
One
forever.
of us.
Well, I shouldn't say forever, but I'm
still chasing them.
Currently chasing aces. And what you just said is how the name came about. Everybody, when they walk up to a par 3 and some of the, bigger hitters, the par 4s, they think this could go in. And whether they say it or subconsciously think it, or they talk trash to their friends or any number of things, they think it or say it, and everybody does it every par 3. And that, I don't know how many hole-in-ones Tiger has or some of the best players have. But I don't have any. He has one, he has 5, whatever. We all want one. We want our 3rd, we want our 5th. Like, it never ends. We're always chasing aces. And the tagline is, even the best are chasing aces, because it doesn't matter who's doing it. We're all going for it. So that's and it came from talking to your friends on the par 3 as you step up and you're talking trash. You're like, oh, film me, this is going in. Film me, this is going in. And then you shank it into the water, but it's still fun. So yeah, that's where the name came from.
And you can still have, like, none of us have any. You can still have like 5 or 6 and still be chasing that ace every par 3.
Yep.
It's the Tom Brady mindset. What's the next best ring? What's the next best hole-in-one? It's the next one.
That's right.
The next one. What's the best hole-in-one you ever had? The next one.
I'm still chasing the 2 putts. I'm just working on that first.
Exactly.
Chase those 2 putts.
Yeah, that's great.
I love the lineup.
Sorry about that, Tim. As you can tell, we are professional podcasters. We never interrupt one another, ever. Tim, go ahead, my friend.
I'm currently just scrolling through the website. Whoever's listening to this, go to the website, chasingacesgolf.com. First and foremost, the message is exactly what Jeff is talking about. He is just basically just voicing what is on this. I mean, and then I'm going through the, if you want to go and shop, I mean, I am about to order a t-shirt because the message that you guys have not only is, I mean, we're all chasing aces, like you said, and, but just it's a relatable t-shirt that just says chasing aces on it. And best of all, it has the little logo right on the back. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so I can't wait to pop that on my back and, you know, and go about my day. You know, it's great. Love what you're about. And, you know, I'm taking up too much time. So
no, well, thank you. I appreciate that. One of my favorite photos from there is if you scroll down a bit, you'll see a woman who's 82 and her name is Wendy. And she plays, she's on the main page there if you scroll down. And she plays at a course that I play at, or she works at a course that I play at a lot. And so by going in there, you strike up a conversation. She's very outgoing. We started playing. So during the summer, when the weather's nice, we'll play every Thursday. And then we go get dinner. And so sometimes her sons join or my girlfriend joins, whatever. So it's this nice little Thursday group. And she is my golf idol because, you know, she's been playing for 70 years, 65 years, something like that. And when I step up to the tee, I'm trying to hit it 300. And sometimes I do. And most of the time I do. And it's 3 blocks left. But she hits it 150 straight as an arrow over and over and over and just kicks my butt every time. And so the whole point of the website, or the message of the website, is that everyone's welcome, and that's totally true. And if you guys ever make it out west, we're going to get on the course and play with Wendy, and I'll watch her kick your butt.
You're chasing Wendy too, Jeff. Huh?
I am.
That's a spin-off. I know you sell the women's I know you sell women's everything, and it's honestly fantastic, but you can always spin off the women's brand if you need to. You got Chasing Aces, and then you got Chasing Wendy.
Chasing
if
Wendy.
You need it for if you need it for the women's side.
And the best part is she'll tell you about it too. She'll you know, she's not shy about talking a little trash. She's great.
Oh, I'm telling you, I don't know what it is, but it is every single course. Every single course has that group of either, you know, like what you said, women or elderly gentlemen. 150 every time. Like, it's the funniest thing in the world. They can almost hit exactly the same shot, and they can just walk up or they drive up. They all get out at the same time and they all hit again. And it's just like, it's just a cadence almost.
Yes,
like they don't even play, like they're not like thinking about shot. Well, I mean, I shouldn't be thinking about shot shape either, for Christ's sakes, but you know, they're not even thinking about like, oh, you know, it's 170 yards. Like, let me take out my 6 iron. They're just like, I usually hit a 9 iron from here. Why don't we do that again? And then they put it like 20 feet, you know, away from the pin. They walk up, you know, a little bit slower than most people, but that's okay. And they, you know, put a nice little lag putt in, and, you know, it's about 3 feet away, and then they tap in for par. And I'm sitting there, you know, in the woods, exactly what you said, just being like, why don't I just play like them?
Yep. Well, I think it takes time, you know. I bet when they were 20, 30, 40, they were doing what we were doing, or doing what we are doing.
Definitely.
And at some point they hit an age, or I don't know, maturity, or maybe they get smarter. I don't know. And then they just go, you know what? I'm just going to hit it 200 and play it safe and, you know, beat everybody.
You said, Jeff, you hit it 3 blocks left. So are you a righty pulling it, or are you a lefty?
I'm a lefty.
Oh, lefty gang. Okay. Let's go.
Sir.
Yes. Power fade. The
That's
absolute best shot in golf. The power fade.
But Jeff, also, you said you're a basketball guy before we were talking. Kind of like a free throw. Like, I was, I think, like 70% in high school, which isn't great, but I think you get better, like just the simple act of doing something over and over. And now she's obviously older and wiser, and she can probably it's amazing if you keep the game simple, how good your score probably gets.
Well, I mean, she has a million swings over all of us. So, you know, that time and energy is going to only make her better.
Now, do you practice at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I practice a lot, and I should be better for the amount of time I practice. But I just recently started taking lessons. So I've only been playing, this is only my 4th year of golf.
Wow.
So basketball guy, like I said, had a bad leg injury, couldn't recover from that. shouldn't, or was told I shouldn't play anymore. So I fought that and played and made it worse. And so I've only played for, this is the start of my 4th season. And that first year is just horrendous. It's just, I tell everybody that starts, if you can just stick it out for 1 year, you'll start seeing improvements and progress. But that first year is tough. So that first year I just washed away. I just put my head down and stuck with it. Year 2 and 3, no lessons, trying to hit at 300, trying to do all the things, and hovering right around 105, 108, and seeing no improvement. And so then this year I said, you know what, I need to, if I'm going to get any better, I have to take lessons. So started taking lessons once a week. I go to the range probably twice a week. But the range sessions now are far more deliberate and focused, as opposed to just hitting a bucket and warming up with a few pitching wedges and then bombing the whole bucket with my driver. I take only 2 clubs and hit my pitching wedge and my 8 for the full bucket and just practice that, and try and incorporate what my coach is telling me. And then I'll play once or twice a week. Still here, late April, it hailed today when I was out playing. So, it's never, soon it'll be nice, but then I'll probably play 2 or 3 times a week. But yeah, I'm trying to get as many reps as I can to try and improve, and hopefully by the end of the year I'll have something lined up, but who knows?
That's okay. We feel the weather on that side too. Every week I keep telling people in Boston, like, it's going to break. It's finally going to break.
Yeah.
Like we're getting the 65 degrees back. And then of course it just, now it's raining outside. And I'm like,
yep.
But it's playable if you have free time and you're a grinder. It's playable, bro.
Oh yeah.
I know you moved south. You're a South Carolina kid now. You're a little pampered.
I'm a little pampered. I don't play if it's raining anymore. No, I'm kidding. But I definitely got used to that lifestyle down there where, it's 50 degrees and put on pants and a coat and you go outside and you play and people are like, oh, it's too cold to play. No, it's fine.
Do you guys have, I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you have a number? Is there a temp or you won't go? Because my girlfriend does, and I'm curious what that number is for you guys.
I think it's just snow for me.
Yeah, if there's snow and if
snow
it's
on the ground,
if the wind, if it's like below 30 or 25 and windy, I mean, I probably
lights out.
But again, if I have the free time, I'm always trying to get out.
Yeah.
Me and Timmy's played in the snow a lot.
Timmy does play in the snow. He's the only person out there, but he's playing in it.
He's a yellow baller in the snow.
Yeah. Well, her number is 62. It's got to be nicer than 62 degrees. So
she's out for like a month.
Yeah. She gets a nice window from July, August, September, and then that's about it.
62 is a great round of golf. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no kidding.
I get it. But that doesn't happen that often here.
No.
Months out of the year.
Yeah. Memorial Day.
Yeah. Hey Jeff, I like what you said about the range, which I've never even thought to do, is just take 2 clubs to the range. And I thought that was very interesting. It'd be very hard for me to do. I guess even if I tried to leave the bag in the car, I might, squeak out and try to find that, driver that's hidden deep in the bag. But so maybe I'd have to leave them at home. But I do like that. It's interesting, like just to maybe bring a 3-iron, work on that long 3-iron, and bring a pitch and wedge or something like that. I might have to try that. And so even if you weren't trying to give me a tip, thanks for the tip.
Well, yeah, it was inadvertent there. Inadvertent tip, which is the worst. Yeah, taking only 2 clubs was at first a challenge, because you're totally right. I stare at the bag by the door and I think, gosh, I could take that whole thing. I could hit some drives, whatever. No, I need to work on my 8 or whatever. So I take the pitching wedge to warm up, and then I hit most with the 8. And it's hard to say if it's helping, because the mats are so forgiving. You can chunk it on a mat and it's still going to kind of go where you want it.
I was going to ask, like, is it all grass, or are you doing some turf too?
Just the mats, the turf mats.
Yeah.
Right now, when the season dries up, when the summer dries it up a little bit, we can move forward onto the grass. But Yeah, right now. So then I go play and I'm chunking at 20 feet because that's what I practice.
Yeah,
So
it's
That's
always
gotta be
happens.
Got to be the biggest heartbreaker for people just starting out golf is they spend all their time learning on mats and then they get out and it's a real reality check real quick. They're duffing
totally
it up.
Different.
They're really duffing it up out there.
They're Duff Daddies and Duff Mamas out there.
Podcast name.
They don't get like, I hate it too because I always try and stay away from mats whenever I can, but there are times when you can't because like it doesn't give you it. You know, you hit it 5 inches behind. You know, you hit it 3 inches behind or 3 feet behind, and it's still just going and it's almost a perfect like every time. And I'm like, come on, guys, we're better than this. But
so then I overcompensate and start topping it on the course because I felt I was going to chunk it on the range. So let's not chunk it on the course, and then I'm topping it.
And
it's a fine line.
Yeah, you get your wedge out, and you're just like, oh, I'll hit it perfectly, and then you skull the ever living daylights out of it, and it goes right behind the green. And welcome to being a Duff Daddy. That's
right.
part of life.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Oh man, but yeah,
are you like an internally competitive guy? Like you say, you're gonna play a lot going forward. Like when you go to the range. Like, are there any games you play in your head, or are you just kind of like dialed in on a like a flag or something? What like how do you make it fun when you practice?
Yeah, so I am very competitive at anything. I'll gamble on what color car is going to drive by next. So like that's the level I'm at. And so yeah, when I go to the range, I'll warm up trying to hit to the 50-yard stick or whatever, just to get 10 or 15, 20 swings. And then I'll pick, we have some bullseyes out at our range that you try and hit to, or just I'll hit a ball out to the middle of nowhere, some dry patch of grass I see, and I'll try and put one as close to that as possible. And I'll just keep going towards that. It's really ball flight that I'm practicing because I'm trying to not to get too detailed, but we're all golfers. You guys probably understand what I'm trying to do. Swing from the inside and turn my left arm over for everyone, but you guys, it's the right arm. Everyone but you. There's only one lefty. Yeah, right.
That's what I'm doing wrong. I knew I was doing something wrong.
Yeah. I'll know when I hit it. If I'm not even looking at distance, I'll just know what's the path of the ball, and that is where if I can hit 5 or 6 in the direction I want, then I'll try and go for a little bit distance, but I'm just trying to get the motion down right now.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I joined a club for the first time last year. I didn't re-up just because I had a baby girl and had been away from this podcast for a while. Great to be back. But like joined Ledgemont Country Club and went to the driving range there, like to start the season, and just picked out that 50-yard stake and just kept hitting at it. And just developing that like understanding of, all right, if I like kind of like Bryson, if I take it this far back and swing this easy or hard through, it's going to go this. That helps your confidence and your scores. Like when you're 50 yards and in, it just makes you feel a lot more comfortable.
For sure. Yeah, I'm most comfortable with a pitching wedge or an 8-iron, which isn't 50, but because that's what I've practiced. I've taken that to the range 3 or 4 times in a row now, and now those are my most confident clubs.
I have like a half a length football field in my backyard, and so I just in the winter I had the mat my sister got me for my birthday, and I had like the target 50 yards back there, and I like set up a light at night just shining on the target, so like you're just getting better and better with the mat, so ground unfreezes, and I bring it to the real turf, and I actually started hitting like when the ground was frozen. Like I never give up hitting off grass and hitting off real earth just because it helps so much. But when you go back from going mat to real turf, it's like I'm the worst golfer in the world.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna need a new lawn right away.
That's why I can do it right now, because I'm literally tearing up my whole backyard. So I'm just hitting divots in there, and I feel like it's making you a better swinger.
For sure.
And you said that first year, like you tell people, like I always tell people, like that first day, like that you want to take it seriously, like you're your worst. Like you're never going to be worse than that. You're always going to get continuously better, but yeah, I have friends that like they just text you after they're around. They're like, dude, I'm like the most unathletic, undisciplined, like the worst. How can I be this bad at a sport? And it's if you just keep trying to figure it out, it's fun. It's really fun.
Well, yeah, and I'm stealing a quote from somewhere. I should look up who said it, but perfection is unattainable, and that's what I find fascinating.
That's a Tin Cup, a move in Tin Cup.
It's from Tin Cup, yeah.
Kevin Costner, yeah. Costner's like, perfection is unattainable.
Yeah, which is the best movie. So,
dude, that's the best movie.
And that's how I feel, and that's I don't want to back into it like I had this thought years ago, but that's how I play basketball. You could have a great game and have 5 turnovers and 5 missed shots. Still a great game, but not perfect. And it's never going to be perfect. So, and that's how golf is. And so again, I could shoot 99, 89, 79, and I'm still going to be going, 69, 59, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it's never ending. And that's what I love about it.
Definitely.
Absolutely. No, that's definitely, I feel like for all of us too, that Tin Cup line hits me, because I know when I'm out there, I think I'm freaking Tiger Woods. I'm like, what do you mean? My drive didn't go in the fairway. What do you mean I didn't stick it 10 feet from the pin with a 4-iron? How am I so far away from the hole still? It always happens. And I think that's probably the biggest part of my game right now too, is expectation management. And I definitely need to bring that down a little bit more, but we'll get there.
Yeah. The thing that gets me is, I'm sorry to interrupt. The thing that gets me is when I do it once, like you said, I stuck it within 4 feet, and I've done that once or twice, whatever. And I go, why can't I do it again? And why can't I just did it? Why can't I do it again? So I've proven I can do it. Now, why can't I duplicate it? And that's the part that frustrates me.
That's golf in a nut. I feel like that's what makes golf such a difficult sport, is you get that the one time, and it also makes you come back every time you hit that one shot on the 18th hole or on whatever hole, and you're just like, yep, we're coming back. You know what I mean? Because you hit that one shot and it was smooth and it was perfect. And you get to your car and you're like, I didn't play that well today, but that was fun. But it's also the most frustrating thing in the world, because you're like, what do you mean I can't do this every time? But then you look at guys personal favorite of mine right now, Jordan Spieth and Pat Perez and all, 2 very different golf players, but they're the same thing, where they're just always what do you mean that wasn't perfect? It's just really funny to watch mannerisms like that. And then when I have those mannerisms, I just need to check myself real quick.
Yeah, same.
It's great too. That target I was talking about in my backyard, it's probably a basketball hoop, maybe a little bigger, but sits up, and when you chip it in there and you're it goes in, you're that felt perfect. It goes in when it feels, and it's it's so hard to attain it. But it's when you do it right, it goes in and you're rewarded for it. But I was thinking about Tin Cup, let the big dog eat, rip it and rip it. And then that riddle at the beginning of the movie, that gets me every time. Every time that comes on, I now know I've watched the movie enough, obviously, but it's a dad in a car driving down the road. They get in a car crash, they go to separate hospitals. How is the parent operating on the child? I forget exactly. No one gets it. They're the dad.
I can't operate on this. This is my son.
I can't operate on. Yeah, this is my son. And no one gets that it's the mother. That's the doctor. It's it's a riot. It's a great riddle to open up the movie. Sucked me right in.
Weird, because it has nothing to do with golf.
Nothing to do with golf.
But he's bouncing the ball on his club the whole time. You're Kevin Costner in a nice little Western golf movie.
Never seen it. Guess I'm gonna have to do that tonight.
Oh, you gotta check
it out. Get out of
bro.
here. You're messing with me.
I wish I was
reactions are the correct reaction, Brian.
All right, I'm gonna head out. Here. Yeah.
No, you gotta go watch it right now.
Check it out tonight. Definitely check it out tonight. It's such a treat.
I gotta see what it's streaming on here.
I think it's HBO Max. Anyways, I know we have gotten a little bit off of here, a little bit off of there. Definitely want to come back to kind of the golf brand, the clothing brand itself too, because what we talked about, unfortunately, with your dog having an accident, passing away. What were some of the hardest part about kind of starting this, as a golfer coming in a little bit later in life as well, starting a golf brand from scratch? What were some of the hardest kind of trials, tribulations, everything that you went through in order to get it to where it is now.
Sure. Well, it's similar to golf. It's managing expectations, and it's similar to the podcast, right? Like just because you guys put the effort in and put the podcast in, 10 people listen, 20 people listen, and you might think, oh, this is really good, we should get thousands of listeners, right?
Yeah, we know we're never doing that.
So it's just managing expectations, right? So I had the idea maybe 18 months, 2 years ago, and it took that long to launch because I didn't want to rush it. And so I had to wait for the logos to be just right, and then find and source the right products, and then produce those products. And it's such a cliche answer or point, but the supply chain issues, I ordered hats and it takes 6 months to get here. So it's hard to time and manage, or manage your time and time frame when you don't quite know when you're going to have product in hand. And then taking that product and then spending 2 weeks because it has to go to the photographer who's going to take professional shots. And then, so it's truly just managing. Just because you have a good idea of, oh, I want to use my dog Franklin as the logo, I'm really into golf, let's start a brand. Those are all great things, but you've got to manage your expectations and take it slow and do it right and don't rush it. And so it was all of these internal thoughts that I had the whole time, because in those 18 months, I could have launched it any time with one hat or with one t-shirt or with something small. Instead, I waited until we had 2 hats, a t-shirt, a polo, a ball marker, a bag tag, stickers, tees, the whole line, because people that come to the website for the first time, they hear new brand and they probably think, oh, it's just going to be a hat and a t-shirt, which is great. But when they scroll through and they go, oh, wow, there's 5 hats and there's 2 t-shirts and 2 polos and 2 keychains and 2 whatever. And you just keep looking at the stuff, and it's all nice quality stuff. So my long-winded answer to your question was manage expectations. And also, once you launch it, because we launched November 14th, which, not to be too somber, but it was the day that he passed. And so I did that on purpose to turn a tougher time into a positive and try and make this a more positive thing moving forward for me. So we've only launched, a few months now, 6 months. And it's just like putting up a podcast. You put it up there, it's live, you've done all this pre-work for 2 years and nothing sells, and you have 5 followers on Instagram, and you got to go, that's okay. It's just like golf, that first year is tough. You just got to keep grinding and keep staying with it, and not do it because I didn't start Chasing Aces because I wanted to be the biggest golf brand. I did it to help process the loss of my dog. And if people connect with that, if people love Goldens, if people love dogs, if people love Chasing Aces and the spirit behind trying to go for an ace and talking trash with your friends, fantastic, because that's the point, and that's the goal. So when you launch it and nobody buys anything, you just kind of, well, this is the plan, this is what you do, and then your friends and family, or my friends and family, were supportive and they buy something, and that's fantastic, and you need that. But when strangers started buying it, people I had no connection to were getting wind of it and buying it, and I'm shipping hats to Maryland and Florida and Ohio or wherever it goes. Like, my gosh, this is kind of working. And then, just yesterday we hit 700 followers on Instagram, and I've said this before, 700 followers doesn't change the world, but it changes mine, and that's huge. So that's managing expectations is my long-winded answer.
No, I mean, that's
awesome.
It's so hard to say, like, you know what I mean with that? Like, you can't just have like a 3-word answer for it.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you don't mind, like, giving us a couple of those Instagram followers, would
Sure. Yeah.
No,
come on over. Hey, I need them all. What's funny is
right?
we hit 700, and then I posted about it.
That's a huge feat, by the way. That, like, I don't think people understand, especially like when you're like a smaller account, and like that's like, I guess like 1,000 is like everyone's goal, like to start. we've been on Instagram for like 2 years, and when I hit 100, I was like, let's go. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a huge deal. So we hit 700 yesterday or the day before. I posted about it because I was excited, a little screenshot in my stories and whatever. And then I look at it again today and it dropped down to 699.
Oh.
So somebody went through and is like, you know what? Enough of this good time golden retriever stuff. I'm out. And I think that is so funny to unfollow somebody. Now we've since gone up. I think we're at 701, whatever. But I think that I just find it entertaining that somebody was like, I've had enough of this, positive BS.
And Instagram's tough because it doesn't show you who you're friends with. Like, it's not like who follows who. It just says following, followed by, like, TikTok, at least it says friends. And then if you're not following each other back, then it just says following. And so you can keep track that way. But Instagram, you're like,
Yeah, somebody bounced, and I don't know who.
Yeah,
I don't know how to find him. And
the one thing that's the only thing that I really don't like about Instagram, because, like, we do a lot of stuff on there. We try our best with it, but I will say, like, there are the Instagram poachers out there that'll follow you, and as soon as you follow them back, they immediately hit that unfollow button. And I'm like, all right, guys, like, I had it happen. I think it was like an account, and I forget the name of it, and I'm not gonna, even if I remember it, I wasn't gonna say it, but they had like 15,000 followers, and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I can't believe, like, I was gonna reach out to the guy. I was gonna be like, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? Like, really like all your posts and everything. I swear to God, I woke up the next day after following him, and I hit it, and it was and like, I saw that we had gone down, and he had unfollowed us, and I was like, this is why I hate Instagram.
Yeah.
Brendan, you can't let that bother you. Can't let it. You gotta let that one roll off.
Everything bothers me, Michael. You know this.
I wanted to also get back to, like, the dog connection too, because I was adding it up in my head, like, just on this podcast alone, us four, like, how many dogs? Like, dogs are such a big part of people's lives, and, like, I was going to ask you, Jeff, if you have another one, if you plan on getting another one, like, because I know Timmy and Brian, you guys, like, you guys had some awesome black labs, and you guys just kept you'd obviously kind of continue one's memory on with another, or you guys had your own reasons to get another one. And I know, Brendan, you too, with Goldens, right? I mean, is it Goldens?
Three of them. So we had Mac when I was a kid. We got Colby, who lived until he was 17, which was the most. And he was 8 years old when we got him, and he died when I was 25. I was 8 years old when we got him, and he died when I was 25. So it was nuts.
We've had all labs, and sorry, I was just gonna say, we've had all labs, and we randomly mixed in a pug. Like, there was a little pug, Mia, that we rescued from Tennessee.
Yeah, and Mike, you had Petey and Tucker, who hated my guts.
I had Tucker, who
Tucker.
He was a Wheaton Terrier, and he was vicious, and he bit some people. I remember on the day that he was shipped away, I was crying my eyes out, hugging him on the front steps.
You can say the other word too. Don't worry.
I just don't know how it works that way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know. You guys are laughing at me.
Gets the people going, Michael.
Front steps, crying like a 15, 16-year-old. Gee, that's not funny, guy. No,
we're not laughing at you.
Can't confirm that one of Tucker's
balls crying.
Can't confirm that one of Tucker's bite victims was yours truly.
Yeah, too high of a number to track, but yeah, he was just a vicious dog. But no, dogs are just, if you can't get, like, Brian, you said it, Jeff. Is it Rhodey? Or I thought it was for Rhode Island, but it has a dog logo.
Roback.
Roback.
Yeah, Roback. I thought it was Rhode Island related. We're from Rhode Island, so I was like, does that have any relation? But no.
And to answer your question, I have no plans to get another dog right now. My girlfriend has a great dog, King Charles Cavapoo. So a lot of fun and attitude, and so I get my fix with him. But no plans right now to. I say that I'm busy with work because I own one business. I own Chasing Aces, and then I coach basketball. So between those three, I'm pretty busy.
Yeah,
and then trying to golf as much as I can. So I use that as the excuse to block all emotional growth and have to not get a dog. So
I can respect that.
Yep.
I said the same thing about, well, I'm kind of allergic to dogs, but I was like, if I'm going to have a dog responsibility, I might as well just have a child. So I'll have a kid first. And then if a dog follows, a dog follows.
Yeah.
One down, one to go, Mike.
Well, kid,
One down,
baby
one to
girl
go.
down. I'm surprised you got, she's a riot. She's something.
Oh, man. So kind of, Jeff, going back to the brand itself, because I think one of the most, I wouldn't say one of the most important parts, but definitely like getting out there and you guys being able to sponsor a player from the Epson Tour.
Mm-hmm.
What was, that kind of conversation like how did that come about, and what was kind of the planning behind it? And then obviously, like you said, being around for 6 months and her being extremely involved throughout the entire process. Like what was that like, just reaching out to someone and being like, hey, do you want to be sponsored? Or like, did you know her originally beforehand, or what was the process like?
I didn't know her. So when we started, or when I launched this, I had 3 goals: to get a stranger to buy it, because like I said, friends and family are supportive, but so get a stranger, to get into a retail store. And about 2 months ago, we got into a store down in Arizona. It's called All About Golf. So they're down near Phoenix. And then the third was to get on a pro golfer. And so I was reaching out to guys on the Corn Ferry Tour and on the women equivalent, which is the Epson Tour. And so I was reaching out to both and not having much success, right? We're a small brand, we're no name. I'm not coming in cutting a check for $10,000 or big money here. So it's hard when you say, yeah, I can give you some money and I can give you all the hats you want, like that doesn't sway anybody or most people. And then through Instagram, there's a guy I follow called Never a Full Bag, and he never wants to carry a bunch of clubs. He likes limited clubs. So he every Saturday will promote other Instagram handles and brands, and just take his day and say, he'll do a call to action to all of his followers and say, who should we promote this week? And people will send, Chasing Aces or Duffin Up podcast or, Safe Par podcast or whatever. And he then just pushes them back out. And so his big thing is stop following celebrities and stop following the gossip news and start supporting your friends, start supporting the small brands, start supporting each other. Like, we are going to help each other all succeed, not that famous person that you were trying to vie for their attention. So he was busy one week. I said, why don't we take it over? So Chasing Aces account put a call to action on behalf of him, asked for people to send in their accounts. And I prefaced it with this, note, or typed up note on the stories that said, why would another clothing brand like us promote other clothing brands? Like, we would prefer you buy our hat, but if you don't like our hat, buy their hat. You don't like our shirt, buy their shirt. And just support, because all of these brands started in a basement, started in a kitchen, started in a studio apartment, and we're probably all still there. And we can all win if we just support each other. So through that, somebody sent Gigi Stoll, which is her name, Gigi's account to me. And I just looked her up and reached out. So I had never met her. I had no idea who she was, didn't know she existed until somebody sent it to me. And so I reached out to her and said, here's who we are, here's what we believe, here's how we started. And I told her the truth up front. I said, I can't cut you a check for big money, but I can offer this much and I can give you all the gear you want. And she totally believed in the company. She did her research and read about us and looked us up. And the fun twist is that turns out she is from the small town next to my small town that I grew up in.
That's huge.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I grew up in Aloha, which is a suburb of Portland, Oregon. And she grew up in Beaverton, and the town lines touch. They're right there. And she's actually a much more passionate basketball player than a golfer, just happens to be an incredibly talented golfer. So she was first team All-State in basketball, league MVP in basketball, all the while 4-time state player of the year in golf as a freshman through senior. just dominant as golf, but just passionate about basketball. So once we found that out, that, wow, you're from the same town and you're a hooper. So we just bonded on that. And she's a sneakerhead. So we had all this in common. Oh, and by the way, I want to support you on your journey to the LPGA. So that was kind of an afterthought after we started getting to know each other. And it's been fantastic. She just finished in the top 15 this weekend in the tournament. And so she has a whole season worth of tournaments on the Epson Tour. And you're playing, a 4-day tournament, a 3-day tournament. You're in Utah, Arizona. They just landed in, I think, Buffalo this weekend. But anyway, you're in Florida. I don't know. Yeah, you're bouncing.
Buffalo, New York. That's a hike from the other side too.
I'll have to look it up. I don't necessarily want to. Well, I'll just do it on my phone right now.
Yeah.
I'm obnoxious.
Well, we have a Corn Ferry Tour event kind of near us. When they come up here, they play in Maine, so that's like a couple hours away from us. But yeah, it's like you always hear how crazy it is because you hear how much money a lot of those guys spend just to get around the country. So I put out a TikTok, I think I'd say like a couple months ago, just about like, let's maybe pay these guys a little bit more, or like if they miss a cut, like give them a stipend. And boy, did I get the internet upset. Like, oh my God, I never would have imagined people be like, pay people for their labor. No, we don't do that. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, geez. Like I'm reading the comments, and the comments on all social media is usually a cesspool, but it's just like, oh boy, I really got some people upset on this one.
So I lied. They're in Kansas at the Buffalo Dunes golf course. So I had Buffalo in there, but they're in Kansas right now. So anyway,
still pretty far from Arizona and Oregon, like you said. So that's it's crazy how much these men and women travel on the smaller tours too. So
so we're excited to partner with her. Again, I'm still blown away that she said yes, because it just makes me so happy, and I smile ear to ear when I see her wearing our stuff, and I see Franklin on the Epson Tour. Like, what the hell is going on? How did we get here? So it's super great to see. There are 2 tournaments that are within driving for us here in Portland. There's one in Worley, Idaho, which is near Coeur d'Alene-ish, and then there's one in Pendleton, which is still Oregon, but heading towards Spokane, like that part of the Washington, Oregon area. So we're going to drive out and be on site to support her for that. And we're trying to put together a small convoy from the Beaverton, Portland area and travel out there and support. And hopefully, she continues to climb that ladder. Like I said, this is her second year on the tour. She was 24th overall last year.
Gotcha. So she just missed out on qualifying for the LPGA, right?
Yep. Top 10 get their automatic bid to the LPGA. And so 24th last year, just finished 15th in a tournament this weekend. So she's on the way up. And I totally believe that there's a big company that one day is going to come knock us off, which is exactly how it should happen. Titleist or Callaway is going to come in, cut a check, and bump our Chasing Aces gear offer. And that's totally fine. I'm the guy in a van off of That Thing You Do. I don't know if you guys, that's a random reference, but
I've seen the movie. I know that movie. Yep. It's got
I'm the weird guy in a van that's trying to get you to the record label that believes in you, So I totally know my lane or our lane and love that if we can help a couple of semi-pro golfers on their way, that's what we believe in. So it's been huge. It's been great for us. And on that note, we just sponsored a high school team here in town. So
that's great.
So we're giving gear and sponsoring them, and it's my old alma mater. It's where I coach basketball, so it's not hard to go talk to that coach and say, hey, can I let me kick you some gear and help these guys. So and then we just started a conversation with Gigi's school, Beaverton, which is a rival of our school. But if I step back and take it from a Chasing Aces perspective, it's good to support multiple teams, especially her former high school. That's the tie-in. So that's awesome. That's where we're going. Yeah, we're just trying to grow the game, and we're flying down to play in a tournament in Arizona for the Phoenix Children's Hospital, because all about golf in Tucson or in Phoenix, Tucson, Phoenix. they put on a tournament, and because they were the first store to take a chance on us, I thought it was worthy of, worth flying down and supporting them in their tournament. So we're doing that. Got our own tournament coming up July 16th here near Portland. And we're going to have a chance for a hole-in-one for $10,000, because that's the whole point of chasing aces. So there'll be prizes. It's a par 3 tournament, so we're moving every tee up, and so everything's a variation of a par 3, different distance, but a par 3. So prizes on every hole, and then it's only 9 holes. So when you come around and finish on the 9th in front of everybody in the clubhouse, you take a shot for $10,000. And
wait, Jeff, so it's a full length course, but you're like taking like a par 5 and moving the tees up to be a par 3.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's an executive course, so it's only par 3s and 4s. Mm-hmm. So there are no par 5s, and so we're gonna we take the tee boxes and the course signage, like it's sponsored by some businesses here, and we'll put their signage up next. And I had the sheet somewhere next to me, but I don't. But anyways, the yardages vary. So everything is 100 to 160, give or take. A couple of short ones, a couple of long ones over water. The 9th hole for 10,000 is going to be 152 yards. So
that's a great length. That's a great. Yeah. Someone's going to hit it. Someone's going to hit it. Let's go. That'd be awesome. I hope so.
That's why I bought the insurance. I don't want to pay $10,000. I don't have it to give for that.
That's awesome.
Oh man, that's hilarious. That's
so if we've got any what do you call them, duff daddies, duff mamas,
duff daddies, duff mamas, get out there.
Anybody in the Pacific Northwest, July 16th, we'll be announcing it May 16th, so we'll have 2 months of promotion and hopefully fill it up.
That's awesome, man.
How awesome. You're crushing it. It's just a cool story to hear, and you're really just doing everything you can, and it's impressive.
Thank you.
I was thinking, like, I'm kind of jealous Pacific Northwest. Like there's some dope golf courses out there. What if we were to, you hear Bandon Dunes all the time, but people also say like, it could be a waste of time. Like if the weather's not right or whatever.
Yeah.
But you play any cool courses out there?
Oh yeah. I haven't made it to Bandon yet. I just don't know if I'm ready for that. Because people say, I've talked to some caddies that work there, and they say it has nothing to do with your score. We do not care if you come out and shoot 120. We just want you to have a good time.
Right.
And at Bandon, it's hard not to have a good time, so I'm told, because the experience is so great. So obviously, everybody adds Bandon. Chambers Bay is super close up near Seattle.
Yep. That was the U.S. Open, right? Where DJ had his nice little 3-putt. That was
So I've not played there, but that's on the list. I'd like to get up there. Of the courses I have played, the Reserve is really nice. There's a course called Pumpkin Ridge. Both have hosted PGA events.
Very cool.
And those are great. Courses that aren't talked about a lot, but out on the coast, there are 2 9-hole courses, Manzanita Links and Highlands, and they're great. I mean, you get views of the ocean. They're only 9. You can only walk. There are no carts. The course is a little, I say weathered. It's not beat up, but it's weathered because you're on the coast and you're just getting hammered by the change of the weather. Plus the wildlife, like elk and deer and rabbits and all the things are truly just crossing the fairway in the green and stomping the green. And you kind of joke that they're always aerated and it's always frustrating, but they try and they do their best to keep the animals off the greens, but they can't help it because they're just traipsing through all night long. But Manzanita and Highlands are 2 of my favorite down at the coast. Let's see, where else do I play? I mean, Summerfield, which is where the tournament is. Summerfield's a great course. I would play there a lot because it's not a massive course. It's only 3s and 4s, and so it's not as intimidating as going on to some big tournament style course and just getting your butt kicked because the par 5s are hundreds of yards away, whatever, 600 yards, 700 yards. So Summerfield would be another one. Again, it's a very specific course that I like, but if there's anyone in the Northwest that wants to go to Summerfield, just reach out on Instagram, and I'm happy to join you. I'll tell you what, we'll do an impromptu contest right now. Anybody in the area that comes to Summerfield and messages me, I will treat you to the round of golf.
Wow.
Hey, let's book some flights to Portland right now.
Yeah.
Tuesdays are the best day to book flights. So
Let's go.
Tuesdays are the best days to book flights.
If you guys make it out here, I'll cover all of it. Let's go.
I'll
pay for the golf.
We appreciate it. That's awesome, man. But
Sounds like there's no shortage of golf either.
Oh no, there's a ton. And I live in Northwest Portland, and so I can go in like 20-30 minutes in any direction, and I'm at a new course. And
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, it's really great. So
that's great. So what we do, I know we're kind of close on time, but we always do one golfer poll from Tim. So Tim, it's just kind of like a fun little question. Tim, you want to do the island one this time?
Yeah, and I'm interested now that we got 5, since we got an odd number here. I wanted to continue that reoccurring one where we go down. So first one, you are stranded on an island.
Mm-hmm.
You're stranded on an island. You have unlimited golf balls. Whatever brand you want to do, you want to bring top flights there. Who does? But whatever you want.
Okay.
You can only bring one club. Which club are you bringing to that island?
Oh, well, my instant reaction was my driver, just because I think I'd be going mad after a while, and I think it'd be fun just to swing out of my sandals or swing out of my I'm not in sandals, I'm barefoot. You know. But then I thought that I physically couldn't do that very long because I get tired and worn out.
True.
And so then I thought, well, maybe grab like a pitching wedge or a 9, and then I could pick that coconut tree 50 yards away and try and hit the coconuts out and just make up my own games and that sort of thing. So my final answer would probably be a 9, and just kind of target practice all around the island.
I love it.
Great explanation too. Great explanation.
That's great.
Probably one of the best we've had.
Oh yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
What are
everyone
some
always
options?
says everyone always says driver. So besides me, I did not say driver. But
yeah.
We don't.
What did you say, Brendan? What did you say?
We don't have to get into what I said.
Did I hear putter?
I said putter.
You did say putter.
I said I have a nice little island green, and it's enormous. And
you'd have to make it. It's not just sitting there. You have to make it.
No, Michael, that was not a stipulation.
He's not hitting any coconuts with that thing.
No. I'd tee it up, and it would be like
only one game you can do, really.
Oh man.
And then, so we had a competition last week. It was a poll question that was which situation on the golf course is worse, and we had the first one, the losing one, was realizing that you forgot your wedge on the previous hole.
That's tough, yeah.
Versus, and this was the winner last week, when you're in the bunker, you get out of the bunker and you go to bang your wedge on your shoe and you hit your ankle. That one won. That one was wrong.
I would flip that. I would be mad I hit my ankle, but I'd be happy I got out, as opposed to the embarrassment of having to run back. And hopefully the group found it behind you. Hopefully they're bringing it towards you, so it's closing the gap of how far you have to run. But yeah, I would rather hit my ankle than lose a club.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oregon tough.
I just want to get out of the bunker.
I said it's the equivalent of the shopping cart to the back of the leg.
Yep.
You have that pain for aisles and aisles.
That's right.
I love it because you're whenever you're hitting your ankle, you're always out of it. You know, you're never going out and coming back. Get in and going out and coming back.
Oh, I got to go and change my club because I'm still in it. I got to get a different loft.
I was thinking if I would ever change my club, you could. And I was trying to think of an instance where I did that. But
do you guys now you got me asking random golf questions. Have you ever had a hole so bad that you just pick up and move on? You're like 8, 9, 10, 11. Like what? So at what point do you
double par on a par 5? So if it's 10 on a par 5, I'm done. I'm done.
And is that because
10, we're out of here?
You're just over it, or because the group behind you is pushing you? Because there's we don't have time on the course for everybody to take 12 shots.
Exactly. So, well, most of the time it's like first shot goes into the woods and it's gone. So then like you're either you either reteed already or you're dropping where it is, and you're playing white stakes equals red stakes, which during a regular round, a fun round, it's my number one rule. No one goes back to the tee. White stakes or red stakes, you just drop and you just keep going because like you said, pace of play.
That's not the rule.
Huh?
That's not the rule though.
Michael, get out of here.
No, but if you're feeling pressure up the rear, definitely instances where you pick it up.
Yeah.
I think we all have gotten pretty good at like knowing the rules and probably like just quickly plopping it down and moving. I'm always trying to finish.
Oh, exactly.
But if it's like a scramble or like something where you're playing like a team format against buddies, like and not keeping like your like I usually know if I'm going out, I'm going to add the score to the handicap, or if it's just kind of like a think around round,
Yep.
But yeah, I think you guys are the same way pretty much too. Finishing
time and a place.
Exactly.
But yeah, double par, picking up, angry at myself, going the next hole. Probably
double par is definitely a good enough reason to pick up. I'm
swinging out my shoes and making it even worse on the next hole too.
I was playing today, and my friend Jared, who is by default the face of Chasing Aces, because he's always the one. I'm behind the camera. He's always the one I'm taking film of. 4 out of 5 of us will get this because one hasn't seen Tin Cup, but the Tin Cup moment of not dropping. It's the final scene of not dropping. Not the spoiler.
Brian, cover your ears.
I'm gonna mute.
He was on a par 3, and there's water on the left, and there's trees on the right, and he just one of the trees and drops one of the water, comes down, tees off again. He's just going left and right and left and right. And I think he got a 12 on the hole, but he just would not quit on a par 3. He would not quit. He wouldn't stop. And I fully commend it. We had nobody pressuring from behind, so we had time to do this. But I get it. Like, I will not let this defeat me. I will take my 15. I'll take my 12. I don't care what it is. So I had that fresh in my head today because I wanted to make sure I called him out on this so I can send it to him tomorrow or later, whenever you guys post this. And
could he have advanced? Could he have advanced it? Like, so a lot of people don't even know the exact rules, like off the tee on a par 3, if you hit it like clear water, but like you can move it up to where it went in. But it was a good enough shot where was he hitting like driver from the tee or just like an 8-iron?
Oh no, it was some iron if he's just shanking. Oh, and then he would go back to the bag and get a new one and shank that. And he was he's a fine golfer. He and I are roughly the same. Like, I'm not saying he's bad or good, but he had just like a mental block. And I had that one first year. I was in a sand trap and I just couldn't get out. And I'm 13 shots in the sand trap, not even swinging at that point. You're just chopping wood. But you're just like having this mental midget moment. And it's just frustrating. Anyway, so I had that fresh in my head today because he hit a 12 on a par 3 or whatever. And I just thought, what's the number that gets you to pick up and finally say enough?
Yep.
So.
I know I've written 11 on a scorecard before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have too.
Yep.
It's not fun. Plenty
you
want to get that eraser out immediately. Just be like, no.
Tough writing double digits in one square. Real tough.
But anyways, Jeff, we really appreciate it. We know, unbelievable story for Chasing Aces. If you want to plug anything, follow Chasing Aces on Instagram. At Chasing Aces Golf, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Perfect. Chasing Aces Golf on Instagram, chasingacesgolf.com. Go to their store. It's all amazing stuff. Like, I know I am ready. I got my credit card ready to go as soon as this is over. Gotta get some stuff for my mom and dad for their golden as well. So that would be great. Nice. But yeah, anyways, Jeff, we really appreciate you coming on, taking the time. And thanks a lot, man.
No, thank you for having me. I tried not to have my phone on, but I just got an alert that somebody just bought something.
That's
Let's
right.
Go.
There it is.
Not me yet, but soon. I promise you, you will be taking my money.
So yeah,
don't
I
worry
saw
about
that. So Rody.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
No, thank you.